Good morning, everyone. A very loving welcome to our Demonstration Now weekend of classes. Let us spend a couple of minutes together in silence. Just completely rest, relax. Let go of all worldly sense, at least just for this hour, as we begin to hear and absorb the message, and freely receive the light of truth, the light of demonstration. Now, let us immediately realize the principle of demonstration, the principle of the evidence that is God, good, without opposite, good that is the only truth of existence, in and out. So let us ground ourselves in that principle in this first class before we go further throughout the weekend. God, or good, or reality, spirit, is one, infinite, omnipresent one. In and out. Listen to the Master. The kingdom of God is inside you and it is outside you. How could it be any other way when the kingdom of God, the kingdom of truthful existence, is the infinitude, which is one and is omnipresent, which means wherever our awareness is, there is the infinite omnipresence of truthful existence. It doesn't matter whether we describe where we're observing as inner, as being inner or as being outer. These are just beliefs, just a sense that we have believed and then catered to and even sought truth within. But God, or truth, is completely unavailable to us, to our experience, our tangible experience, in belief. And one of the big, long-standing, hard to free ourselves from beliefs is that God is ethereal, or within, God is spirit or consciousness, but that our outer experience, starting from an atom, a cell, our mind, our bodies, our entire worlds and everything in them, are different from spirit, separate from spirit. It's as if spirit has changed. We've accepted that God is all. We accept these statements. God is infinite. God is omnipresence. God is spirit. And besides me, there is none else. We accept these. And then the very next moment, we believe that somehow spirit has changed to become matter, or to become human. The spiritual being, the only truth of being, has somehow changed to become human with a mental mind, a physical body. This is not true. We have believed that somehow spirit exists in our experience as material things that are separate and different from infinity and omnipresence. Material conditions, places, amounts. We've accepted that money is different from spirit somehow, even though we understand intellectually at least that God is all. God is the infinitude. God is the omnipresence. God is spirit and truth, and besides me there is none else. Well, the first thing to realize is that everything, the entire infinitude, the entirety of existence, no matter what we describe a person, a thing, a condition, a place, an amount as being, the entirety of consciousness and everything we're conscious of or ever can be is the one presence of God or good, the truth of existence, which has no opposite, which never changes, which is the same goodness, the same infinity and omnipresence of goodness, the same unconditional God or good of existence, without exception, without opposite. And so realize that your good, yourself, let's start there, your being, is this instant spiritual being. You are the infinitude. Your consciousness, which is all that you are, all that your mind, your body, your entire world and universe and everything in them are, is the very presence of God or infinity, and the very omnipresence of God or infinity, and all that infinity is and has. This instant, you don't have to seek it to have it. You are it and you do have it this instant. You don't have to pray for it. You are it and have it this instant. Listen to the sage wisdom. You are ever with me, and all that I am and have is yours. I and the Father are one, the Master tells us. And your Father and my Father is the same, one Father. We are of the same existence. There is nothing different about me, although, the Master says, I am certainly more awake to the truth. And then ultimately, I am wholly awake. And I demonstrated that. I showed you that. But make no mistake that you are not different. You are the same. You are the very presence of God. Again, how could there be in the one infinitude and the omnipresence of infinitude, how could there be a different being? A being that is not the infinitude, that is not the omnipresence of God or reality, existence, spirit. No, you are the one I, the same I, as I itself. Rest with this for a minute. Now realize that God or good, which means your evident, visible, tangible good and mine and all persons, is fully here now. None of God or good is absent, even though it appears to be by false sense or material sense. But right now, we'll touch on that in a moment. Right now, realize that the whole of infinity and all it is and has, the whole of omnipresence and all it is and has, is right here where you are this instant and is fully demonstrated already. There's no incomplete God, which means there is no incomplete good. It is fully manifested, fully visible. Now be careful with this one. There is none of God that is invisible. We, in material sense, may not be able to see it, and indeed cannot. We cannot see the vast majority of the infinitude of God or good with material eyes or sense, belief. If we believe that that which we're observing, that which is our environment, our minds, our bodies, our worlds, our businesses, our money, our families, and so on, our home, our neighborhood, if we believe these in and of their own selves to be real, to be an entity in their own right, then we have what is called material sense. We're believing the material. And in that state of belief, or state of sense, we are unable, no matter how much we try, we are unable to see the infinite good that is right here forever where you are, fully demonstrated, fully manifested, fully visible, real, practical, right where you are, and right where any sense of need or want seems to exist. Any lack or limitation, any illness, disease, any unhappiness, any poverty, any starvation, any homelessness, right where these apparent realities are observed, there stands the fullness of God or good, the wholeness, the completeness of good. No one is without their good, without the entirety of their good. You are not without the entirety of your good. But now, what is good? How do we see it? How do we see that which is all around us and right in front of us? How do we see the truth of every person, thing and condition, every amount, every place, every activity? How do we become free in truth, free in spirit? Well, there's a big clue. Free in spirit. First of all, we realize that the only presence is God or spirit, or any of the synonyms, remember. Infinity, omnipresence, spirit, I, incorporeality, eternity. Certainly, the other two omnis, omniscience, omnipotence, consciousness. Any of these are wonderful synonyms and they can be used freely. So realize now that God, or any of the synonyms, is the only reality. Nothing of what seems to be is reality. Nothing of what seems to be has any entity to it whatsoever, has any law or principle to uphold it in our experience whatsoever. It is nothingness. It can literally be blown away. Just blown away with a little puff of spirit. that you are being or I am being, because it cannot resist truth. Hear it, hear it. Nothing of that which seems to be is able to resist the presence of truth, the visible, manifested, demonstrated presence of truth. Why? Because everything that seems to be has nothing about it. No body, no form, no structure, no law, no principle to uphold it, to support it, to keep it where it is, to keep it looking like it is. If we can name it, then it is not truth, it is belief. If we can define it, if we can see it physically without realizing what it actually is, without being able to withdraw all belief from that which we're observing and realize what it actually is, so that we don't want anything from that which we're observing. We don't hope for anything from that which we're observing, because it's nothing. Our reality is in God, in spirit. Our hope, if you like, is in spirit. We actually have nothing to hope for, but the word hope is used in many scriptures. Our trust, there's a better word, our trust, our reliance is in the one reality, the one God, the one Spirit. So lift with me now away from that which seems to be into God or infinity or omnipresence or Spirit. Let go of everything that seems to be. I am the presence of the one presence that is God or infinity or omnipresence. The I that I am is that. The I that I am is the only I that is. The consciousness that I am and I have is the one consciousness, the only consciousness of existence. Existence itself is consciousness. Fill your awareness by thinking of these truths we're hearing. You can use these words or your own words, it doesn't matter. I is the infinitude itself. Therefore, all that the infinitude is and has is what I am and have. This instant. I is the omnipresence. I and omnipresence and I and infinity are synonyms. Omnipresence is I. Therefore, all that omnipresence is and has is what I am and have this instant. I is the one Spirit, the one truth that is God itself. Hear it in John. God is Spirit and truth, and I am that I am. Indeed, I am the one Spirit and truth. The very I am, is all that Spirit is and all that truth is. I don't have to seek it, I am it. when I am in spiritual awareness, as we're lifting into now, when I am in a living awareness of infinity as being the only presence, the only I, the only universe, the only world, the only everything, everywhere. When I am in a living awareness, a conscious awareness of omnipresence being the only presence, then I am in what's called God consciousness, besides which there is none else. And when I've lifted high enough that I can truthfully say that my awareness right now consists of only God awareness, only the awareness of infinity, the awareness of omnipresence, the awareness of spirit, being all, that is when I know and can trust and rely on the fact that I am now in God consciousness. And when I am in God consciousness, I am in the consciousness of visible good. I am in the consciousness of demonstration. I don't have to seek demonstration when I am in God consciousness, because God consciousness is the demonstrated good, the visible, tangible, palpable good, right where you are and as far as your consciousness reaches. Let's rest with that for a couple of minutes. This weekend is a combination of two things. One, and most importantly for everyone, at this moment anyway, this whole weekend is devoted to your healing, your prosperity, your love and relationship, your freedom, your harmony coming through sense and being real and visible and practical for you. So we will have much silence. I'm in silence. We'll be in silence together through some parts or maybe many parts of the classes. But in between classes, I'm in silence right the way throughout the day and evening, so that you can simply rest in my consciousness, capital M, my consciousness, which is your consciousness. Consciousness is one. And as you rest and realize that all that is required for your demonstrated good to be visible and real and practical for you immediately is your spiritual seeing, or let's say it generically, is spiritual seeing. Now, your consciousness is seeing spiritually. That's all it does. Your pure consciousness, before belief gets in the way and clouds that which consciousness is, and consciousness is seeing as your entire mind and body and world and everyone and thing and condition in it, your consciousness is the consciousness of God, is God itself, and sees nothing but God, good, sees nothing but the wholeness and perfection of everything about you and your entire universe, your entire world. Every person, well, let's again start with you. your body, your mind. And then outwards in sense. Every person, thing, condition, place, activity, amount in your consciousness, as far as your consciousness reaches, is this instant nothing but God, which means good. Wholeness, perfection, completeness. Nothing of good is absent. Nothing of good and completeness is lacking, limited, separated from one another. If it appears as if there is a lack of health or illness, this is not true. That appearance only comes about in material sense, which is material belief, the belief in that which appears to be, the belief in humanity, the belief in the mental mind and the physical body as being real in and of their own selves. The belief in anything of the world being incomplete, lacking any of its good, separated from any of its good, is entirely untrue and is visible to sense testimony only as belief is on the scene, as we believe that which we are seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling. And so, my friends, every time we meditate during the classes or have silence during the classes, realize that you have, and throughout the classes, of course, but in those silent periods throughout the classes and in between and before and after, right up into the evening, simply rest and freely receive. That's it. That's your job, your role in this. Rest and freely receive. And the experience is very much like going out into the sunshine and bathing. That's it. You're not involved in making the sun shine. You're not involved in the glory, the beauty, the joy of simply resting back and receiving freely all that the sun is and has, all that the environment is and has, a gentle breeze, a blue sky, gorgeous sunshine bathing you. And this is why the Master has told us, fear not, little flock, your Father knows what you have need of, and it is his good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Think about that. It is truth's good pleasure to give you the kingdom, give you the demonstration, which means the visible, tangible, practical evidence, the revelation of, or the revealing of all your good, unconditionally. It is the Father's good pleasure. It is demonstration's good pleasure to give itself to you. Have you ever realized that? That which you sense as being needed, even urgently needed, because it's been a need for so long now, and typically needs get to sense worse and worse, more urgent, almost by the day, we all know it, whether it be a need of health or healing, a need of money, a need of love, relationship, understanding, kindness, harmony, peace, justice, morality, whatever it is, prosperity, business success and fulfillment, family, safety, security, happiness, whatever the sensed need is, the longer it goes on, the worse it gets. We all know that. Now, it is harmony's good pleasure to give itself to you, to make itself visible to you. It is health's good pleasure, or healing's good pleasure to give itself to you. It is wealth's good pleasure. Literally, it is money's good pleasure to give itself to you abundantly, unconditionally. It is love's good pleasure to give all of itself to you abundantly, unconditionally. It is peaces. It is justices. It is moralities. It is safeties, securities, good pleasure to give themselves to you abundantly, unconditionally, freely. Why? Because this is the truth. This is the only truth of existence. And therefore, if you exist, that existence is this one truth, and it is a finished truth. Truth isn't evolving. God isn't still working at the kingdom. We hear it throughout Scripture, but very beautifully in Genesis 2, 1-5, God finished the heavens and the earth and all the host of them. And then again in the Gospel of Thomas and in Matthew we hear the Master telling us that the kingdom, which remember is finished, perfect, omnipresent, wherever you are, there is the entirety of the finished kingdom. The kingdom is inside you and it is outside you. The kingdom is the infinitude, the omnipresence. And so if there is any presence, if there is any consciousness, and what consciousness observes or thinks about, which is the same consciousness, and that which it observes is the same one consciousness, the same one experience, but we can describe it like that, consciousness and what we are conscious of. All of this is the finished kingdom, the one true, perfect good of existence, which is proactive, if we wish to use that word, in revealing itself to you. Now, we have misunderstood this, and we've been, unfortunately, misinformed by and misinstructed by many metaphysics teachings of the past. But that doesn't matter now. Today is today. Now is now. We do not have to make effort for truth, any more than we have to make effort for sunshine, or the dawn each morning, or the light during the day. We do not have to make effort for gravity. We do not have to make effort for aerodynamics, for math. These are, and they are the utter wholeness and completeness of themselves. They are not made whole by us or our effort. They are whole, and all we have to do is realize that they are whole and that they are infinite and omnipresent right where we are, and then tap into that which they are. There's the secret. It's like climbing up a hill, and at the very top now being able to see the magnificent vista that has become visible to us because we've climbed up the hill in order to see it. At the bottom of the hill, or even halfway up, we were unable to see that gorgeous, magnificent vista. This is exactly the same with truth. The vista exists. God exists. Good exists. Demonstrated. There isn't any God except demonstrated God. There isn't any God or good except already manifested, visible, tangible good right where you are, because the you are is actually the I that the I of God is. The one I, the one being, the one presence, the one consciousness. Now, during our silent periods, during class and before, between and after, your role is simply to rest and freely receive. And you understand why now and how it works. Your consciousness is the one consciousness. If you and I are conscious of each other, then you have all that is in my consciousness. We can explain it like this. Let us assume it's the dark of night. And there are no street lamps, no house lights on whatsoever. It's pitch black. And you have a little flashlight that you're trying to navigate your way around with. And you're finding it difficult maybe. You stumble sometimes. You bump into some things sometimes. You may fall and hurt yourself sometimes. It's not easy in the pitch dark of night with a tiny little flashlight to be free in your environment. You call your teacher and say, "Help, please." And your teacher comes with a bank of floodlights. And so that the moment you and teacher are together, you now have the benefit, you now have the light of the teacher's bank of floodlights. And so your environment and everything in it is very, very much more illumined, more enjoyable, more whole and complete, safer, more secure, more abundant, more loving, and so on. That's probably not a great metaphor, but you understand it. So this is exactly what happens. The moment you and I are consciously together, whether we've met or never met in what we call person, just being consciously one as we are right now. And as we now continually are. Once you're in my consciousness, you never won't be. And once I am in your consciousness, I never won't be, unless you decide to turn around and walk away. That's completely up to you. And if you do decide that, that's good and true for you. But while we're consciously one, while we're gathering together, on or off class, you are in my consciousness and I am in yours. There is the oneness of consciousness. That's all it takes. You don't have to do anything more. It's already done. You don't have to remind you. Well, you can remind yourself if you want to, just to help you be still, stay relaxed in consciousness. But you don't have to do anything to make it true that you and I are one. Therefore, all that I am and have, all that my consciousness is and has, which is very, very, very little of Paul, because Paul is a nothing, Paul is silence, Paul is nothing but a window for the light of heaven to pour through, to reveal itself, reveal the truthful mind, the one body, the one world. So all that I am and have is now yours. And as you know that, even if to sense it is not obvious yet, it hasn't become apparent yet, it doesn't matter. Trust truth. Trust reality. There is nothing in your mind, nothing in your body, nothing in your family or relationship or both, nothing in your home, nothing in your neighborhood, nothing in your finances, nothing in your business. It doesn't matter what the past has looked like. It doesn't matter what you've done or failed to do. None of what you believe you have done or failed to do in the world or as a human being or in business or in your finances, in your relationship, in your family, has any reality to it whatsoever. So drop it. Start anew this moment. I am new this moment. The manner that I am is fresh this moment and every moment. So I can let go of all past. I can let go of wishing for good in the future, and I can concentrate on this very moment of now, which is actually the only moment in existence. Literally. And I can rest knowing that my consciousness is and has all that consciousness is and has. And at the moment, Paul, your teacher, as you name him and see him, he is your window, your presence of consciousness that is helping you. But very soon you will be wide awake in your so-called self, and you will not have as much need or any need for teacher. But until then, whether it be a minute, a day, a week, a year, a lifetime, 16 lifetimes, it doesn't matter. Your teacher is always here for you, unconditionally, being the light of truth for you. So, during all our silent periods, simply rest back and freely receive all that you are being given. Remembering it is the Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. The kingdom of what? The kingdom of demonstration, the kingdom of visibility. It's right here. The only requirement is our spiritual seeing or vision or consciousness. This is it. Whereas I was blind, now I see. Many teachings, unfortunately, have sent us along a path that suggests that we have to make effort for the kingdom, make effort for our good. We have to somehow learn the art of demonstration. We are somehow assistants to God in bringing forth the earth's good. No, or the body's health, or the abundance of finances, the success of business or industry, the harmony and peace in the world, the equality in the world. No. God is. Look it up. God is finished. Look up Genesis, read it, particularly Genesis 1:31 and then 2:1-5. It's all there in plain language, as plain as it can be. God is finished. The kingdom is finished. God finished the heavens and the earth and all the host of them. Don't ever believe that your good is truly absent or that you have to work somehow spiritually. You have to lift up into a certain spiritual state of consciousness in order to have your good. No, you do have your good already. This instant, I am that I am. I can't be anything else because the only I that exists is God I itself. The only presence is God presence itself, which is indivisible, inseparable, always whole and complete, and always visible. Tangible, real, practical. There is no other type of God. God is not invisible. God is certainly invisible to us. Yeah, the great majority is invisible to us as long as we walk around with material sense. But the minute we lift into spiritual sense, the minute we realize that the I that I am is the infinitude, the omnipresence of spirit, of truth, of the very presence and being and mind and form and thing and condition and place and activity and amount that is God itself. And then we seek God itself, never that which appears to be, but God itself, infinity itself as infinity itself. We heard this so beautifully, clearly and thoroughly. It was being almost hammered into us during the instantaneous demonstration classes. But you see, when we seek reality for and as reality, when we seek infinity for and as itself, because we know there is nothing else, even though to sense it appears to be, infinity appears to be finite, local, objective, of 3 dimensions, in an environment of time and space, cause and effect. Everything that seems to be is sense only, and as long as we don't believe it to be anything of reality itself, knowing that only God is reality, and then seek that which God is, which is infinity as infinity, omnipresence as omnipresence. Or as we heard in class last night, God as the one universal being, never a personal being, a local being, an individual being, never. God isn't that, and God cannot be that, and God cannot be evident as that or for that. But God is the infinitude, so we can understand that as universality. God is the one universal presence. Now, when we seek that, when we seek the kingdom of that, the one universal presence, watch how quickly that one universal presence becomes apparent objectively to your sense and to my sense as the good of our immediate environment or our immediate need fulfilled. Watch how quickly it happens, because there is nothing of untruth, nothing of the world, nothing of the mind or body, nothing of thing, amount, activity, place, person that can resist the presence of truth being perfectly visible. Because all these things as they appear to be are nothing. Only God is real. Only God is entity. And it's fully visible, fully real, fully manifested and demonstrated this very instant and eternally, right where you are. In fact, more than that, as the very you are. So my friends, rest, rest, rest. Do a lot of resting this weekend. Do a lot of free receiving this weekend. My consciousness is right there with you and for you throughout the weekend. All of it. And beyond, of course, but we're gathered together here, focused as a group, understanding and lifting into the now of all visible good. So there is a beautiful focus going on this weekend. So take full advantage of it, please, my friends, and watch your good becoming ever more visible, hour by hour, day by day over this weekend, and then beyond. And then the second aspect of the weekend is sharing with you the how, the principle of it, so that you're learning it. You can begin to practice the presence of God, practice the presence of all demonstrated good at each moment of now. And that, of course, is my major desire, the major impulse happening in me. I can help you, and I always will. There's no condition to it. But the greatest gift I can give you is the gift of being able to be yourself, the very presence of truth, not only for your own freedom and fulfillment, of course, but so that you can feed your world with truth. You can be truth for everyone and everything in your world, in your business, in your practice, in your family, your neighborhood, the entirety of your world. All right, let's sit right now for the last 7 or 8 minutes or so of class. You rest and freely receive. Let go. Really, really let go. Trust that you are safe in the presence of Spirit, in the presence of demonstrated good, and freely receive the illumination that reveals it to you now. Okay, my friends, I will be in silence for the hour between now and our class 2. So please join me as much as you can. Rest and freely receive. Thank you so very deeply. All our love. See you in 1 hour.